Okay, this week, the only assignment I have for you is to finish your landscape design. Last week, you should have laid out the outline of the house and put your sidewalk and driveway and some of those things in. So this week, we're going to add all of the plant materials that we need to. So this instruction sheet that you see on your screen right now is going to be up on Google Classroom. It's meant to be a step-by-step guide to walk you through all of the things that you need to know in order to complete this. I've also included something that looks like this um, that kind of gives you some visual examples of what I'm talking about. And you might notice here that step one in this document should correlate with step one on your checklist. So I've tried to make it really easy for you to go through, but this is a big project. So we're going to do the best with it that we can, and we're going to make sure that we get you all the. Sorry, I had to stop there for a second. So the first step is to frame your house with shade trees. These are going to be from your plant selection worksheet, the shade trees that you picked out. And the first thing that you're going to do is look at your examples here in this other document. You're going to go straight back from the corners of your house. I know your house looks a little different than the one here, but you're going to go straight back, and the center of your tree is going to go straight back from the corner of your house. So you might want to make sure that you find some of the smaller shade trees that you picked out. You're going to put your compass on here, and if your shade tree was supposed to be 40 feet wide, you're going to set your compass to 20 feet for the radius, swing it around, and draw a circle. Okay, in the center of your circle, you're going to put the number for your tree off from your list. So if it was number 2 on your list, you're going to put a number 2 here. Then you're going to do the same thing over here. You can use the same tree or you can use a different tree. Okay, continuing on with this, in the front of your house, you're going to go draw 2 trees. They have to be at least 30 feet away from the corner of your house and draw them at about a 45-degree angle. I'm not worried about you getting a protractor and figuring it out for sure, but put it out here. The center of your tree should be at least 30 feet from the corner of your house. Same thing, you're going to set your compass to the radius of your tree and draw a circle. Put the number of the tree from your list, your plant selection worksheet, in the center of each one of these trees. Your last step is to color the circles. If your tree is primarily green, color it green. If it flowers at some point of the year, you can color your circle whatever color the flower would be. Okay, so that's step one, framing your house with deciduous or with shade trees. Okay, you can look at all the instructions here, but that's pretty much what I just told you. Step two is going to be putting in one specimen or ornamental tree. So I'm going to move forward here, and that's step two. You're going to pick a small tree. So these specimen or ornamental trees should be small. It's going to go, so remember your house looks different. It's kind of flipped. But you're going to go between your front window and door, go out 15 to 20 feet, and you're going to draw in your little specimen tree to scale. Okay, it's okay if the tree hangs over your driveway or hangs over your edging that you put in. That's fine. That's not a big problem, okay, because that's up in the air. Okay, so that is step number 2, placing in the specimen or ornamental tree. You can follow all the steps here in your guide. Step 3 is going to be adding edging around your house. So let me flip back here. Your edging has to be 6 feet away from the straight sides of your house and 8 feet away from the corners. So you can see that's illustrated here. I would consider, you've got a patio back here in your house. You should put your edging 8 feet from the corners, 6 feet from the patio. Okay, the edging is like it's the edge of your flower beds. Okay, inside this edging is going to be rocks or mulch, plant materials, things like that. Okay, so you can do yours kind of like shown here. Some recommendations that I give you, try to avoid just really straight lines with right angles. That tends to be really boring and stark looking, like with those right angles. And try to avoid really wiggly lines, because think about somebody that has to mow around this edging or along this edging. So you can see here it's very lightly curving, flowing lines. Okay, So putting your edging in is the next step. Then you're going to add a triangular planting at each corner. Okay, so if I go ahead to the next one, you can see here, you're just going to use circles. We aren't going to go through all of these design symbols, but at each corner, if assuming there's not a driveway or something like that there, you're going to make this triangular planting. Do you see how that forms a triangle right there? So you're going to put a mixture of evergreen and deciduous shrubs from your plant selection list in at each corner. Okay, same process, draw circles, draw them to scale, put a number in the center of the plant that corresponds with your plant selection list, and then color it in. Whatever the primary color of the shrub or plant is, or the flowers, that's what you're going to color it. Okay. The next step is the one that's probably going to take a little bit of time. Now you need to fill in your flower beds or the area inside your edging and your house. You can use a variety of shrubs and perennials from your list. Hint, the shrubs take up a little bit more space, so I would try to add some of those in. Otherwise, you're going to draw a million little circles for all of your perennials. So here's the look here. Remember, you have triangular plantings at each corner already. So now you're going to fill in the space in between with line or staggered plantings. You don't have to draw these little lines like they did, but they're just showing you if they staggered a planting, what it might look like. Over here, you're going to do just the line planting, or that's what they showed in the example. Okay, this using odd numbers just says you're supposed to tend to use odd numbers of plants in a planting because it's more pleasing to the eye than an even number. I'm not super worried about that. Put your circles in, draw them to scale, put your number in the center of the circle, and color it in. Okay. The last couple of things you're going to do, make a plant list. So somewhere on your landscape design, maybe up in the corner, make a little table and have the number from the plant list, the name of the plant, and then how many total plants are you going to need of each one of these to complete this landscape design. Okay, so you're going to create that list. And then somewhere on your design, you also should have a directional arrow that shows north. And you should put the scale of 1/4 inch equals, or 1/4 inch equals a foot. Sorry, that's a typo right there. Do you see that? I'll try to go back and change that to 1 foot. Okay, so that's it. It's going to take you some time this week. That's why this is the only thing I'm giving you to do, not any other snapshots or posts or anything like that. Just work on your landscape design. If you have questions, let me know. If you need more help, let me know. You do get some points here for neatness, quality, color, all of that kind of stuff. So make sure you take some time to do all of that. I'm going to try to pull up a couple of photos here quickly and slide them into the right spot. These are examples from other students. This isn't exactly what we're doing. Obviously, this house is a little bit different. But it kind of gives you an idea. You do not have to design the inside of your house unless you're really excited about doing that. This is kind of what I want the sidewalk to look like leading up to your front step. So that gives you a clue. But the one thing I would say is missing from this design, they didn't really do the triangular plantings at the corner. At each corner, you really want to have a triangle of plants. But this just gives you a visual of what your design might look like. This one I think is a little bit better example. Their trees, they follow different guidelines. So her trees are not where your trees are going to be, right? You're going to have trees, one tree here straight back from each corner. You're going to have one tree at a 45-degree angle from the front of the house. And then you're going to have your little ornamental tree out here. But she does show, it shows filling in the plants around, and it also shows you can have a little bit of fun with this if you want. She did a path out to a gazebo. You could add a swimming pool in your backyard. You could, make a swing set, do any of those things that you want to, but none of that is required in your assignment. But this just gives you a picture of what a high school landscape design assignment might look like. This is what your legend or your key could look like. Showing north, I would just add 1/4 inch equals a foot. And you also will want a little plant list somewhere, and you can fit that in wherever it works. Okay, So if you have questions about this, please give me a call or shoot me an email and I'd be happy. We can set up a Google Hangout if you're struggling or want to talk to other people about what they're doing. But just do your best with this and have a little bit of fun. Please let me know if you have questions.